and tell others. Women's the attention, time, resources, and imagination of half the world's population will go a long way towards allowing basketball to become what we all want to see, the world's favorite team sport. Today's draw ceremony marks a key milestone on the road to the great event we're about to see down the road. We are privileged, truly, to be right here in a cathedral of basketball, the Coliseo Roberto Clemente here in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and it is a pleasure to welcome our many guests as well as representatives of some of the participating national federations. As you know, Puerto Rico is one of 5 FIBA jurisdictions where basketball is the undisputed national team sport, along with Lithuania, Latvia, the Philippines, and the People's Republic of China. The construction of this Coliseo as the host arena of the 1974 Mundo Basket, now known as the FIBA World Cup of Basketball, was instrumental in changing Puerto Rico's national sport from baseball to basketball. Today, among the many distinguished guests and basketball figures, I'd like to welcome Mrs. Carmen Yulín Cruz, the Mayor of San Juan, Mr. Carlos Alves, Executive Director of FIBA Americas, and Mr. Yum Ramos, the President of the Puerto Rican Basketball Federation. You will be asked to come up later on stage. The FIBA Women's AmeriCup brings together the best national teams of the Americas. The top 8 teams in the Women's AmeriCup, held here, will continue on their quest to be one of 4 teams from the hemisphere and one of 12 teams overall to compete for glory in the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. The 2017 edition was held in Buenos Aires, and in a very intense final game, Argentina, the host, saw Canada score the last 3 points, the only point scored over the last 2.5 minutes of that great game, so Canada then captured the continental title. This year, the event will be hosted here in San Juan, where players will take to the court from September 22nd to the 29th, mark your calendars and make your plans to come over here, to battle for the AmeriCup title. Let's take a glimpse as to what we can expect. That is just some great, wonderful action from prior editions of the FIBA Women's AmeriCup and last summer's Centro Basket and South American Women's Championship that saw 10 countries book their ticket to San Juan. Let's review these 10 countries. We start with the host, Puerto Rico. From FIBA's North American region, Canada and the United States of America. From FIBA's
We have to make sure people know that sports are an investment. 934,111, so almost $1 million in basketball alone. Now, at a time of crisis, people may say, well, why are you investing so much in basketball? Why are you investing so much in sports? We cannot underestimate the power of sports in the social development of a country and in the economic development of a country. Hundreds of people work on these activities, but most of all, the dignity of the Puerto Rican people is expressed. It's shown more than ever. It unites us. It leaves everything that can separate us behind, and especially in September. The tournament will begin 2 days after the second anniversary of the Hurricane Maria hitting Puerto Rico. And of course, the world has known how devastating that was for us. So it is very important for us to show the world that we stood up, that we went through hell, but that we're coming back stronger than ever. And sports is one of the pillars of showing that to the world. To the female basketball players in Puerto Rico, ustedes no saben el orgullo que nosotros sentimos de ustedes. A través de ustedes, todos somos más grandes. We are farther greater than we could ever imagine because of you. Every time the 12 of you just step into the court, you make an entire country believe once again that there's nothing that we cannot achieve. And I want to make one announcement. We believe in equal pay for women in sports at the municipality of San Juan. So we usually give $250,000 to the men's team for basketball. So this year we are up in the ante, and we are going to give the women's basketball team $250,000 also. Because you have to walk the walk and not only talk, but do what you're supposed to do. So thank you very much, orgullosos y orgullosas de que ustedes nos representen en el suelo puertorriqueño. This is the Cathedral of Basketball. It was also the largest shelter that Puerto Rico saw for the people that needed shelter for Irma and Maria. We will turn our Puerto Rican pride into something that the entire world can see. Que viva el baloncesto puertorriqueño.
Men's are the most important continental competition in the Americas. The AmeriCup Women's 2019 in San Juan, Puerto Rico will be a defining moment for FIBA Americas. In the upcoming months, you will see FIBA implementing a very clear strategy to develop women's basketball around the world. The enabling of this strategy starts here today. Throughout America, women's will be able to unleash top talent, create a sustainable ecosystem for the game, and elevate the quality of basketball in the American zone. The first half of
but before you come to games and after you leave the games in the Coliseo, you will be entertained. And that's the beauty of the site that was chosen for this AmeriCup, the beautiful city of San Juan. We've heard a lot about their attractions, the fantastic history of the city, and of course, the rest of Puerto Rico and all it has to offer. Now we're going to show you a short video, because they say images speak louder than words, about all the attractions right here in San Juan and in Puerto Rico.
Aquí la luna tiene su esquina, la princesa con su paseo, los sueños que se levantan con alegría y con el canto de un pueblo. Échate a andar, vive San Juan. Tú échate a andar y vive las calles, vive su gente, vive San Juan. Por donde quiera que camines, las puertas están abiertas, es cultura entre adoquines, vive San Juan. Échate a andar y vive la calle, vive su gente, vive San Juan.
Vive tus deportes, vive San Juan.
Again, just a sample of what you can have here. The food, and most importantly, the people will make you enjoy your stay and make you want to come back soon and often. Now, we're about to enjoy something that's very typically Puerto Rican. To a greater or lesser extent, virtually every country in the Americas has been blessed with a population of African descent, something that most rosters in these competitions reflect. Music is one of the most salient and recognized cultural contributions by the people in the Americas of African descent. Now, in Puerto Rico, the bomba rhythm, with its unmistaken syncopation, is a pillar of the island's rich musical tradition. Tambouyé, in the African Creole patois, means drum player. This group, founded in 2003 as a community-based effort, Tambouyé, as you can see, features women front and center. They have toured the Caribbean, the United States, and South America, and we're about to enjoy two bomba call and response songs in the classic West African tradition. The first one is called La Esencia, and the second one is entitled Voz de Masa. Please welcome Tambouyé.
Yo vengo con una bomba con la esencia de los pioneros y vengo a darte los bailes de las damas que ayer estuvieron. Yo vengo con una bomba con la esencia de los pioneros. Yo vengo a darte la bomba que dejaron esos nombrados, brindarnos todo ese cuento, hay que honrar nuestro pasado. Yo vengo con una bomba con la esencia de los pioneros y vengo a darte los bailes de las damas que ayer estuvieron. Yo vengo de bailadoras que los batalles de pico fueron, esas damas
Thank you. Thank you very much. So now we all look forward to September to celebrate basketball, and particularly women's basketball here in San Juan. But before we start, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the draw first. And the draw, of course, follows a certain procedure. So please follow along with this short video on the principles of the Women's AmeriCup draw.
The FIBA Women's AmeriCup 2019 will feature the participation of 10 teams that have qualified to the competition in the following manner. From Central America and the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Mexico, República Dominicana. From South America, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay. From North America, USA, and Canada. The teams have been paired in 5 pots in accordance with the Nike FIBA World Ranking. These pairs will be drawn into Group A and Group B of the competition, along with the numbers that will determine the order of the games in the group phase. The draw will conclude once the host, Puerto Rico, has made its selection. Argentina will go to the opposite group.
Brazilian young girls or anybody from the Americas, what would be the advice you would give them as they compete internationally? Si tuvieras la oportunidad de darle un consejo a una jovencita que está empezando a nivel internacional, ¿qué consejo le darías?
Bueno, buenas tardes, muchas gracias por invitarme FIBA y por Puerto Rico me acoger también. Hace 40 años yo estuve en este gimnasio jugando mi primer Panamericano, tenía 17 años y estoy muy emocionada de estar acá nuevamente. Y el consejo que puedo dar a las niñas, los niños, es que no importa el tiempo, tiene que estar siempre buscando tu mejor, porque en Brasil nos quedamos prácticamente 15 años para conquistar el primero Panamericano, y después Mundial y Olimpiada, pero lo que nos faltaba era soñar mucho, mucho entrenamiento, disciplina, dedicación, y el tiempo puede nos decir lo que va a acontecer, pero no puede desistir, estar siempre buscando sus sueños.
Muito obrigado. Magic was saying that she remembers when she first started. She played here in the Pan American Games when she was 17, when the stadium was fairly brand new. As far as the advice, she said, you know, it took us about 15 years to begin to break through. And at that time, we never knew what we had, but we started dreaming and dreaming larger and larger and bigger dreams. And of course, backing that up with a lot of discipline and work. And so the advice would be that dream big, work hard, and things will happen and you will break through. So if you can step back behind the balls, I'm going to go and invite our next guest. but what moments to you are the most meaningful from that experience?
Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias a Edgar y a la FIBA por darme la invitación de estar aquí y a la Federación también. Pero uno de los momentos más significantes para mí fue esa medalla de oro en el 2011, los Panamericanos. Yo creo que desde pequeña uno sueña y sueña con lograr cosas. Uno de mis sueños era obtener una beca universitaria, representar a Puerto Rico, llegar a la WNBA, pero como que eran sueños personales míos. Y esa medalla de oro fue un sueño, yo creo que colectivo, un sueño que lo vivimos todos los puertorriqueños, se lo vivió mi familia, mi vecino, y de verdad que no hay nada que le gane ese sueño que, ¿verdad? que yo tuve, ganar esa medalla de oro en los Juegos Panamericanos del 2011.
Carla was saying that when you're a young child, you have dreams, of course, and in her particular case, she always dreamt she could play basketball, she could get a college scholarship, which she did. She could at some point be named to the national team, which happened. And perhaps someday dreamed to make the WNBA. That happened too, but nothing, and absolutely nothing compared to winning the gold in the 2011 Pan American Games because of the impact it had on everyone. It is an experience and a feeling that is undescribable and very difficult to match. So, Carla, thank you.
Difíciles, momentos grandes, pero nada nos une más como pueblo que tener un evento deportivo. Y nosotros como país estamos listos y preparados para asumir nuestra responsabilidad, que es representar y que el mundo nos vea como un ente deportivo, un país alegre, un país responsable, y que las personas que no tienen la oportunidad de ver el esfuerzo que hacen esas 12 jugadoras, que detrás de esas 12 jugadoras hay una familia, hay una federación, hay un comité olímpico, puedan tener la oportunidad de llenar el coliseo y representarnos y ponerse su camisa, gritar, aplaudir y aplaudir a todos los países del mundo. Esto es un momento importante para la mujer, es un momento importante para nosotros como país.
Thank you very much. Juanita said this is nothing less than history. Not only history for women's basketball, history for sports, and history for sports, particularly in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's gone through some big events and some tragedies. And this is the sort of event that will help soothe and unify and boost the population. She said, most people do not understand what it means to be part of a national team, have 12 players, have coaches, a federation, an Olympic movement behind it, but they certainly can come to the stands, wear the colors, cheer for the home team, cheer for the other teams as well, appreciate good basketball, and appreciate the fact that we're seeing history here. So thank you very much, Juanita. Thank you.
Gracias.
So, Edgar, everybody's ready. Why don't we start the draw?
Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start the draw, we want to recap the pots that we're having today. As you can see in front, you have 7 different pots, 5 of them containing the teams, 2 teams each, and then we have the last 2 pots that are the competition scheduling number. Okay? Each team will be assigned with a number, will be slotted into their names, and this will define the competition schedule for the tournament. First pot is going to be USA and Canada. Second pot is going to be Brazil and Cuba. Third pot, Colombia, Mexico. Fourth, Paraguay, Dominican Republic. And fifth, Argentina and the host, Puerto Rico. I think we're ready. Are you ready, Alvaro?
I'm ready.
Well, we're going to start with the pot number one, Miss Paula.
Magic Paula.
The first team will be assigned to Group A. The remaining team will be automatically put in Group B. So the team that will go to Group A is Canada. Canada will play in Group
media that FIBA has as well, and particularly on the youtube.com FIBA channel with explanatory videos on the formats and the coming attractions. And to close, we simply hope and look forward to meeting you here in San Juan with many, many more basketball fans you can bring along with you from September 22nd through September 29th. And we hope you enjoy what will be history made here in San Juan for the 2019 Women's AmeriCup. Muchísimas gracias y hasta pronto. Thank you very much and goodbye.